The wilderness is a scary place. Many players fear it or avoid going there altogether. Are you one of them? Or do you simply want to decrease the risk of dying when you go there? Then keep watching, because I'm about to tell you everything you need to know about surviving in the wilderness. And make sure you stick around until the end, because then I will be revealing the ultimate gear setup that will greatly increase your chance of survival. When you get attacked in the wilderness, you have 3 options: escape, fight back, or accept death. Fighting back is what is known as anti-pked, and that needs a video of its own. And accepting death is pretty straightforward. So this video will focus on the strategy of escaping. Rule number 0. Accept the fact that you will get attacked and act accordingly. Even if you have nothing on you, you still might get attacked, because a pker never knows what you have in your inventory. And I think any pker who has been around for a while knows that some people bring a lot of crazy and unnecessary risk. So don't be one of those guys. Before you go out to the wilderness, click this button right here to check your risk and make sure it's nothing too crazy. Number 1. Make sure your skull prevention is on, especially if you bring expensive items. Most people should know this, but getting a skull makes you lose all your items on death unless you have protect item on. And a lot of people try to take advantage of that, and there are a lot of tricks that pkers can use to make you skull. And activating this thing will prevent you from getting skull tricked. Not only does getting skulled make you lose all your items, it will also make you more likely to get attacked by pkers. Number 2. Use protect item. This prayer is actually forgotten about, because outside of PvP it is actually pretty useless. But it will make you keep 4 items instead of 3, or 1 item if you are skulled. Activate this prayer as soon as you get attacked, even if you are not close to dying. Number 3. Don't look like a target. Even though you might get attacked regardless of what you have, looking like a target will greatly increase the likelihood of you getting attacked. And by target, I don't only mean having a lot of expensive or fancy gear on you. I would say that in general, if you do look out of place for the area that you are in the wilderness, you will be much more likely to get attacked. And the reason for that is that pkers assume that people who look out of place don't know what they are doing and might bring a lot of unnecessary risk, which is often the case. So do your research, check what gear people are usually wearing in that specific area, and simply copy that, and you will greatly decrease the risk of getting attacked. Number 4. Log out. This is probably the most important tip that I can give. I've seen so many people who run across half of the wilderness with a pker gapped behind them, only to later get attacked and die. Remember, your logout button is your best friend in the wilderness. If you see a pker and you're not in combat, log out. If you suddenly see a white dot on the minimap, log out. Wondering if this player will attack you or not? Don't do that. Just log out. Bonus tip. Use this door to log out instead of hopping worlds. The door logs you out faster. Number 5. Teleport. If logging out is the number 1 priority, teleporting is number 2 and should be done as quickly as possible if you can't log out. If you go above 20 wilderness, always bring a level 30 teleport and make sure it is charged. If you are below 30 wilderness and you're in combat and you see a pker, teleport as quickly as possible. I would say the best teleport that you can bring is the Royal Seed Pod. It's a level 30 teleport that is unlimited and in your inventory, so you can simply left click it when you need to. Bring this if you have done Monkey Madness 2. Number 6. Don't play on a potato. Have a decent computer, and if you can, play with a proper mouse and sound. A proper mouse will make you click faster and more accurately, and the sound will make you react to dangers faster. If you want to see what gear I use, I have links in the description. If you purchase anything from these links, I will get a small commission. Number 7. Avoid peak times and total level worlds. Now, I have only been to worlds up to 1750 total, so I don't know about 2k+, but I can say for sure that me and other pkers go to total level worlds specifically because many high level and high loot targets are there. As for the rest of the worlds, there is not much difference between them. It's just that a lot of pkers are on peak times, so if you can, avoid peak times as well. But there are 2 types of worlds that actually have fewer pkers, but at the same time they are more dangerous. That is the target worlds and the high risk worlds. If you go to any of these worlds, you will automatically be skulled. In the target worlds you can use the protect item prayer, but in the high risk you can't. So if you don't mind getting skulled and you don't want to get attacked, you should consider using these worlds. Also have in mind that in the target worlds there is no PJ timer, which means you can get hit by teams in singles, but you can also go to monsters that can PJ the pker off you. Number 8. Don't get greedy. If someone in front of you looks like free loot, don't attack them. Chances are it's a trick to make you turn off your skull protection and get skulled. This is very common, and pkers try to play on people's greed in order to make them skulled and kill them for their items. So remember, just like in real life, if something looks too good to be true, it probably is. So far, all of the tips that I have mentioned have been with the purpose of avoiding getting attacked. The tips that will follow will focus more on what you should do when you do get attacked and you can't log out or teleport away. Number 9. Know your escapes. Look up possible escape routes for your specific area. It will make you less likely to panic when you get attacked and will also make your escape quicker. Examples of escapes are levers, agility shortcut, ladders, caves, obelisk, etc. If you are teleblocked, you can't use levers and you can't enter the Ferox Enclave. However, you can enter the Chaos Altar with a talisman or teleport into the Abyss using this Zamigai after the mini quest. If everything else fails, simply click on the minimap and run south in a straight line or run through lots of trees. If the pker is gapped and haven't attacked you for a while, spam click the logout button, but make sure at the same time that you don't stop running. And while it's important to have an escape plan, you should be adaptable to the situation. There might be an easy escape just around the corner. Here's an example of a player not utilizing that. So I attacked this guy in the Revenant Caves, and at first it looked like he was anti-PKing, but then he decided to just run away instead. His strategy for escaping was running around in this circle, going out from the caves in the east and going back in the west. Well, this strategy sometimes works. It didn't in this particular case because he was full TB'd and I made sure he didn't gap me. But this guy was much lower level than I was, and everything he actually had to do was go out from the cave and run 2 levels to the south, and I wouldn't have been able to attack him. But he didn't, so I eventually managed to kill him for a couple of mil. And this goes to show how important it is to be adaptable when you get attacked in the wilderness. And in general, if you don't have a specific escape plan, just run south and teleport or log out when you can. Bonus escape tip. If you're getting hit by someone in visibly expensive gear, run into a close-by multi-combat zone. They will most likely not follow you there because they might think that you're a bait for a team. What you also can do if you're pretty experienced and warming your skin in the wilderness, you can bring some magic gear and ice spells in order to freeze the pker. You should freeze them just before your own freeze runs out, and then you can stand behind a tree or under them. But be careful, some players might bring mithril seeds, which will allow them to move 1 square to the left even if they are frozen. If you do this correctly, you should definitely have time to log out. Number 10. Keep your HP and prayer high. If you keep your HP high, the only way a pker will kill you before you're out of food is by using their special attack, and unless they are very advanced, it will be a melee attack. So keep your prayer up also and be really quick to pray melee as soon as you suspect a spec might be coming. If you know that you are slowing your prayers and the pker who is hitting you is very quick on his switches, just camp the melee pray and eat as much as possible. Also don't forget to camp the augury prayer, because not only does it give defense, it also gives magical defense, which will make you less likely to get frozen. Number 11. Run when unfrozen, fight back when frozen. It is important to maximize the distance you run in between freezes. If you start running too late, you might get refrozen in just a few steps, or even worse, in the same spot. And you want to avoid that, because that will lead to a guaranteed death. Fighting back is optional, but can be crucial, as even if you don't have a chance to kill the pker, this will make it much harder and much more annoying for the pker to efficiently damage you. Just make sure that you don't skull and that you run south once you're unfrozen. Number 12. Bring your friends. If you're on multi, consider doing the activity with a few friends or clanmates, in a cheap rag setup that allows everyone to skull up without risk. The setup that I will show in the end of this video will work perfectly for that purpose. So if you get hit by a pker, all of your friends can just pile on that pker. If the pker is solo, you will definitely scare them away and maybe even kill them. Number 13. Don't get overconfident. Just because you manage to tank a noob in salad robes doesn't mean you will be able to tank anyone in the wilderness. There are pkers out there who has been doing this for decades and they know exactly what they are doing and are extremely good. So unless you're very experienced yourself, with the right RNG, those kinds of people will definitely be able to kill you. Number 14. If you happen to die for decent loot, don't go back to the same spot in the same world. Chances are the pker is waiting for you there to come back with more loot. Just hop to a world that is far away on the world hopper and continue with your activity. So as promised, here is the ultimate setup that I would recommend you using in the wilderness. Of course, there will be some variations depending on the activity. If you're doing a specific boss, you need specific items, but in general, if you're just doing a clue scroll or something, consider bringing this gear, as it will make you less likely to get attacked, even compared to a naked person. Because attacking a naked person has no consequences for a pker, while attacking someone who looks like this has consequences. They will get their food drained and might also get poisoned by the Emerald Bolt's E that I would also recommend you to use. They actually have the strongest poison for any projectile. Also, this gear setup is very cheap and offers great magic defense, and magic is the main thing that you should worry about, because if the pker doesn't have any magic or freezes, they are very easy to escape anyway. As for the inventory, you should bring a couple of brews and restores along with regular food. If you decide to bring brews, you should have about the half amount of restores. So if you bring 6 brews, you should have 3 restores, etc. Also, if you want to combo eat, you click the food first and then you click the brew. But you should only combo eat when you are in real danger. If they aren't running at you with an AGS, you should just keep sipping on your brews. Just make sure you don't overheal, which means that you heal at full HP, which will make you waste your food. Also, don't forget a stamina potion and an anti-venom plus. If you want to, you can also bring the Din's Bulwark, but I would recommend not walking around with it and only equipping it once you get attacked, because having it out will make you more of a target compared to the rag setup. Also keep in mind, it is worth about 10 mil, so make sure you don't get skulled with it, and if you do, make sure you have your protect item on. I hope this guide helps you survive the wilderness, and if you have any other ideas or tips, then let me know in the comments down below.